What is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Comfort and Chaos, where the common sense meets the uncommon. You know, what do you think about that, Will? I totally thought about that. That one hit me.
No, that's accurate.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. These days, that's fucking accurate, bro.
Heck yeah. Guys, hey, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Be part of the team, be part of the chaos as we continue to find some common sense and comfort in this uncommon world. With, of course, you already know the lovely face there to my left, my right, your left. But my man Will. Awesome, dude. How you been, man?
I'm good, man. Still recovering from this glorious Thanksgiving holiday. Eating all of the food and still eating all of the leftovers. So that's been glorious.
I gotta ask, what was the premier dish this year? What was the one that just really okay, I got to get up for seconds and thirds maybe, or I got to make sure to save this one?
My wife makes this. It's a gravy, right? It's this mushroom bacon, creamy, delicious gravy that you can put on that. You put it over turkey, and it's like, woo, crack cocaine. I love it. It was glorious. But she also made me a pumpkin pie cheesecake with this crumble topping on it.
What?
So good when it hits the lips.
Oh my gosh.
It hits the lips. So yeah, man, I am a fatty by nature, and I loved it, man. What about you? Like, what was we saw you out in those woods, in your non-natural habitat of the sun.
Definitely.
And what
I missed the sun.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
But it felt good. And it felt good being out there in that crisp, cool air. You just breathing it. It felt really good. And all the trees. Even though they didn't have all the leaves, but just in the woods. It felt good, and the lake was just right there. It was a good time, good family, good company. And as far as food, man, I mean, there was a galore of food, and I would have to say there was a broccoli cheese rice with bacon that was amazing.
Everything with bacon in it.
Right? Everything. You could literally put bacon in everything. I wasn't a fan of the football, man. My team lost. I know, and myself, and there were some Green Bay Packer fans also there, and we definitely hyped up the game. We hyped up the game, and it was a hyped up moment, and my team just did not perform. And the whiskey was flowing that night. I think I went through at least two Zin cans, almost a full bottle of whiskey. And I mean, it was flowing. It was a night, but overall Thanksgiving, I do like, just get together with family and friends and eating food, good food. Everyone has a special dish, a special recipe that is just, let's go.
Yeah.
I even have to say, I even had homemade waffles with homemade syrup the next day for breakfast.
Yes.
And I've never had that before. That was amazing.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for I think at some point this week. I'm gonna take, so she made this homemade focaccia bread, then dried it out and made homemade stuffing out of the bread, right? So delicious. But now we have a bunch of that shit left over. So I'm gonna take that. We're gonna make some tomato soup. I'm gonna put that shit in a waffle iron with some cheese. I'm gonna smash that motherfucker down.
Hey, you better put that on the gram. You better post that on the gram. I got to see pictures of that.
All right.
I got to see pictures of that.
I'll get that one.
But aside from that, man, there's been a lot of chaos out there.
Yeah, man. It was nice unplugging from the news cycle for a little bit. Everybody chilled the fuck out.
That was nice.
And then this weekend hit, and we're right back on the gas pedal.
Right back on it. I mean, have we heard anything new with Diddy?
I'm just, yeah, man. we're about to get Epstein 2.0. I heard they're putting him on suicide watch.
Oh my gosh, dude. I'm just curious, man, from your thoughts and your perspective, how do you think this is going to turn out? Especially with the administration taking over. Like, I'm just saying, how do you think this is going to turn out for him?
Not good when you're a gigantic pedophile, racist, or rapist piece of shit that like the fucking drug people and throw gangbang parties all the time, which okay, like if that's your thing, cool, man, whatever, until you start like drugging people and then beating them in the hallways of hotels, and like that gets called out, like, hey, cool, I can't wait, like I want to see the Diddy list, the Diddy Freak Party list and the Epstein list immediately, like if Trump wants to like blow one out of the water like on day 2 and he just drops that shit, like, oh yeah, by the way, here's the Epstein client list, like just oh man, Hillary Clinton's bagmen are gonna be fucking busy.
Well,
just a whole lot of like natural cause self deletions.
it would be very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It would be a shocker to like the world, to the media. Like it would be stupid if media at the same time were like censoring and all this. Obviously, it seems like they're very trying to like keep stuff like that hush hush,
Sure.
But then it would be just stupid for them to like, okay, we have to report on this now. Our ratings are already so bad that we have to jump on this. I mean, and look into it.
Yeah, they could just put that shit on Rogan and it'd have a wider reach than fucking any of the mainstream media.
True.
Right?
Facts.
I mean, they're like, what is it? Comcast is looking at selling MSNBC and all of their like the NBC cable offerings. They're looking to offload them because they're just garbage.
You think Elon's going to buy MSNBC?
That would be absolutely hilarious.
I mean, I know he joked about it over the weekend. But you think he would do it?
No, but I mean, I didn't think he'd buy Twitter either.
Right?
Right. Like, oh man, how funny would that be?
That would be hilarious.
Oh my God, it'd be so funny.
You'll see like Rachel Maddow and just like all these people are like, well, this is your boss.
Right? Like, they'd either quit or fucking walk out.
They would quit, of course. They've talking so much shit about.
Oh yeah, just to keep themselves from getting fired, right?
And that embarrassment, they'll just resign as like a statement, a protest. Like we'll resign.
Good.
Do it. Join the club. I mean, what? How many celebrities are so like said? Oh, we're moving. Now this administration's in charge. We're moving. We're leaving. We're going to Britain. Ellen DeGeneres left for Britain.
Oh, that's a huge loss.
Oh, darn it!
Huge loss. Yeah.
No, not Ellen.
Not Ellen. Like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy. These are some crazy times, team. Hey, I already said 2024. Get ready. It's going to be a crazy year, and it already has been. And now we're about to see what was it? What's the term when they had after the Civil War? What they call it? The Reconstruction era, I believe. When that was the focus after the Civil War. It was like, hey, we got to rebuild, Reconstruction era, Yeah. I would say I think America's kind of in that sense.
No. No, we're about to like, I think we're about to have the deconstruction era. Like,
ooh,
right? Like we're not rebuilding anything.
No,
they need to tear down some of this. I mean, not dumpster fire of institutions.
Yeah, I guess what I meant is not in like the literal physical sense. But it's more of like a media reconstructing era.
No, I don't think so either.
Really?
No. I think mainstream media, like it's a declining industry, right? Like they've lost market share. Right? Like CNN absolutely on fire. massive layoffs. They're reconstructing their own business just to try and survive on a daily basis. MSNBC, really, once the Morning Joe team decided to fly down and kiss the ring down in Mar-a-Lago because
I saw
went
that.
and met with Trump, right? Like they lost, like 30% of their morning audience right off the bat, right? All these people that they have been preaching this dog shit to for 8+ years about the bad orange man being Hitler, and then they go down there and kiss the ring because the insiders like let it out, right? Hey, they were afraid that he was going to come after them and like prosecute them for the heinous shit that they've said for this long. They were like terrified. So they went down there and kissed the fucking ring. And everybody was like, wait a minute, didn't you just call that guy like fucking Hitler like 3 minutes ago? Like, and now you're like, well, we owe it to the guy. Like, hold on a fucking second. Like, either you're full of shit, or you're a coward. And either way, we're out. Like, we're done. We're done with you.
Yeah, there's no credibility to stand on.
No,
at all. There's no
that network hasn't had credibility for fucking ever. Like,
that sucks.
And people are fed up with it, right? Like the only cable news network that's still functioning and maintaining a level of their audience and even increasing some of it is Fox News. And you know what you're getting with them, right? Like,
and
you're getting an absolute right-wing spin. You're not going to get a full story.
Nope.
But they're at least not spinning it so fucking hard that they're not telling you things where like you can see it, right? Like, I have eyes, right? Like, I can fucking see that you're full of shit, right? They're not spinning it that far out of control on everything. And so they're the only ones who are still even kind of in the running a little bit and existing. But outside of that, like, the mainstream's fucking dead, man. Like, that's why you're talking about podcasts. You're talking about, the alternative forms of media, your Substacks, your, just different media forms that you can ingest and get bite-sized bits from different perspectives. And people are going there, right? Your Twitter, your Facebook, TikTok, right? Like, people are ingesting data and news that way. And the mainstream media is fucking dying because they lost their credibility.
Heck yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree with you. They definitely, it's like they just don't have a ground to stand on. They're wishy-washy. They're flipping, flopping. There's literally, it's like, dude, okay, just come up with a standard and stand on that. Just go with that. But no, because then people know who they are,
Well, they also, right, like, they also have thrown a narrative that is consistently just bullshit, right? Like, they've gotten in bed with government elites and spun a story that the American people can just look and go like, you're full of shit. Like, there's no fucking way, right? Like, and people are starting to wake up and go like, why am I fucking listening to this guy? Like,
absolutely.
Why? Right? Like,
absolutely.
And I don't remember if we talked about this, right? Like, remember when David Mueller, right, checked Trump? It was during the presidential debate when he was talking crime statistics. And so he fact checks him, right? Like, real time in the debate. And basically says, hey, like, the FBI data that they've released said, right, violent crime's down, right? Like, down 4%. Right? So everybody was kind of like, really?
Wait,
like,
what?
I don't, like, is it just my town? Like, that right? Like, and everybody was like, kind of,
are you gonna finish that in Nantucket?
Yeah. Wait,
like,
what? Like,
where?
And so the FBI had just like it was in the last few weeks, right? Like revamped it was right before the election. They revamped their crime stats and were like,
Oh yeah.
actually, like silently did it. Like tried to stealth fucking throw that out there. And we're like, actually, it's like up 8%. Our bad. Like, yeah, all that data that we collected it wrong. Our bad. Like, we had to
Well, I
put
just
that
hope
back out.
I hope somebody's held accountable for that at some point. You know, like I've always said, hey, make accountability great again. That's all I say. That's
Yeah.
it. Just make accountability great again.
There you go.
You know,
Well, that's not going to happen.
hold our leaders accountable. Yeah, no shit, dude. I mean, hey, speaking of accountability, you know, I know today's headline is your boy, you know, your partner in crime, the guy you always said you wanted to party with. Didn't you say you want to party with this dude?
Wait, which one? Did he?
No, no, not Diddy. um, your boy Hunter.
Oh yeah, man.
Like, you know, hey, I'll tell you what, that would be an interesting Dead Drop series. You know, Dead Drop episode. We just got old Hunter Biden on here and just like, yo, dude, tell us your story, man.
Do we all get to do cocaine?
No, hey, he's rehabilitating. You know, he's on a path now, according to, you know, help those, you know, and better the people and help them and give them some resiliency. You know,
that's what it was. That's what it was.
But that being said, I just think that, hey, yo, dude, I would like to still just hang out and talk to the dude. You know, hey, man, what's it like, dude? Just tell me the story. What's it like? I want to know the person. You know, I just want to know the Hunter. I don't even know the Biden part. Just
that dude's a
Hunter,
fucking scumbag. Like every bit of that dude is a fucking scumbag.
Hunter, I still want to talk to you, dude.
I mean, I'll do cocaine with him. Okay, like, let's get this right. I will take one for the team. All right, like
I didn't say that. He said that, guys. Okay, he said that. He's retired. He can do whatever he wants.
me and old Hunter will fucking do some Bolivian marching powder. Fucking, we'll build snowmen together.
Hey guys, do you still want to record? Because it's like 3:00 in the morning now. We were supposed to record 10 hours ago.
What do you mean we haven't been recording? We've been recording this whole time. I want to record some more.
Those Snapchat videos don't count. That would be me. I'm falling asleep out here, guys.
I just know, right? Like, it must be nice to have daddy bail you out when you're
Big
51
time.
years old.
Ooh, 51. Damn.
He's 51. Right? Damn. 51 years old. Like, and I don't know if you know, do you know the details of the pardon that he got?
I do not. Enlighten me. I mean, I know general public, they hear pardon, they think like, oh, wow, they're free. You know, they're just forgiven and free of all their charges and allegations.
So he was set to be sentenced for the multiple felonies he was convicted of.
So my question is, well, real quick, has he been in prison this whole time? Like, he's even, okay. What has he been, like house arrest? Or, I mean, obviously he can't leave the country and stuff.
He hasn't been sentenced.
Okay.
So he was convicted, but not sentenced yet, right? So he's out on bond until sentencing, right?
I see. Okay.
Right. So
who bonded him out?
I mean, the dude's filthy, disgusting rich, right?
Yeah, but like who physically walked into that bondsman office and signed the paperwork to like, hey, I'll bail.
Well, you don't need to go to a bondsman at that point, right? Like, so the bondsman, right, is, hey, I'll give you a small piece of money to put up all of the money, right? That's when you start talking about bondsman, right? If you have the money, you can just go into the jail and fucking like, hey man, swipe it, like swipe that fucking platty, right? Here's the right, or put forward the money, right, that you get back.
Yep.
Right, as long as dude shows up to go to prison, but he doesn't need to show up to go to prison anymore because his daddy hooked him up. So, right, he was sentenced for the tax evasion stuff, right? Multiple tax charges, and then the gun charge, where he was he basically he lied on the firearm form, right?
Ooh,
Saying, hey,
yeah.
like, but we've all done background checks, right?
Yep.
For our pew sticks. And so the dude lies on the form, right? Saying I'm not an addict, right? Like I'm not addicted to anything. And then like his old lady at the time throws the gun out into the trash can because the dude's coked out of his mind, like,
Damn.
and trying to sniff Parmesan cheese off of carpets because he thinks it's drugs. That's legitimately in his memoir.
Yo, hey,
Legitimately in his memoir.
somebody was playing a joke on him. Somebody's like, hey, yeah, dude, here you go.
Yeah.
They're just laughing.
The dude was right, like, I mean, literally filmed himself getting handies while he's smoking crack, right? Like, that's like out on the internet. You can watch that video. I wouldn't recommend you watch that video, but you can watch that video.
Yeah.
And so, and in his memoir, like in his own book that he authored, right, was like, yep, like during this time frame, like I was a complete addict. Oh, that just happens to coincide with the same time you were lying on that firearms form. And so, right, he's convicted. The DOJ initially tried to cut like this wild sweetheart deal where basically he would plead guilty to, I think it was the tax stuff. He'd pay a little bit of money, go on a probation. As long as he cleared probation, everything gets wiped under the table. But the way that they cut the deal, it was so shady. The judge in the case was like, no. Are you
That's
out of
not
your
how this is done.
you out of your fucking minds? Like,
Wow.
so they had like 2 deals cut, and basically it was like it was gonna wipe every potential crime that the dude had committed for the last X number of years off the table. Right? Even the shit that they hadn't
Wow.
found yet. Because really, right? Really what the issue is uh, his basically the theory, we're going to say allegedly, right? He allegedly was the bag man for his daddy, for old Joe, right? When he was on the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian nuclear power company, despite the fact that he had no fucking experience. He was running back and forth into China using daddy's influence to get bags of money and then hold it for the big guy, which FBI whistleblowers have already come out and said that was Joe Biden. So basically, there was this gigantic influence peddling scheme, right, where he should have been part of the Foreign Agents Registration Act. He should have had to register as a foreign agent because that's basically what he was doing. And he didn't because, well, he had to get the money for daddy. And so, like, all of that was potentially going to come out. So Biden pardoned him for the last 11 years for any crime that the feds could bring against him. Not just the ones that he was sentenced for. He could have also just commuted the sentence because the president has that ability. So he could have said, like, hey, look, I don't want my fucking kid, like, serving any time. He was convicted by a jury of his peers under my Justice Department.
Yeah.
Right? Under my Justice Department. Not the fucking Trump Justice Department. Under the Biden Justice Department. Right? He was investigated, charged, found guilty by jury of peers.
Damn.
Under the Biden Justice Department.
Damn.
So he didn't just like, oh, well, he doesn't have to serve any time. No, he pardoned him for any crime going back 11 years. You want to know what happened 11 years ago?
What
This
happened?
was when Joe Biden was vice president of the United States, and Hunter Biden had just joined Burisma. 3 months later,
Ooh.
3 months later, right, is April 2014. Biden pardoned him from January 2014 forward for any crime, any federal crime that he committed.
Wow. I mean, the fact that it goes back 11 years, and that's such a
Right.
weird number to just like that just tells you there was a thought process put into that, you know.
You think? You
You know,
fucking think?
we're gonna go back 11 years and 3 months and 2 weeks.
Yep. Yep.
Anything after that.
Just to make sure, right? Any of the felonies that he had committed
That's
were
crazy,
covered.
man.
Were
That
covered.
You know what's funny is, from what I can recall, in during the White House press conference, the press secretary even said this was months ago. You know, hey, does the president plan on pardoning their son? You know, and the press secretary was like, no, it's a
It was
hard
1 month
no.
ago. It was 1 month
Okay,
ago.
so it was a month ago,
Mhm.
and was like literally saying no. You know, the president. The answer is no. The answer has been no. The president is not. You know, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden, boom. Which, okay,
The president also said it multiple times.
so here's the thing though, too. I'm also thinking like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is just the father side kicking in. This could be the wife saying, "Don't let them do that to Hunter. You need to pardon him. You know, that's our son. That's our blood. You know, and it's just going to get worse if you don't. You know, while you're still. I mean, I could see that too. You know, I'm just trying to apply the personal side. I mean, would you not pardon your son? I mean, think of it that way.
I
You
get it,
know,
man. Like
that's your son. You
I
know,
get it, but when you have right, you are the president of the United States, right? Who else is he pardoning? Is he pardoning the fucking the
did he?
guy? I bet you Joe's on that fucking list.
Hunter's
Joe,
probably on that list.
Hunter 1000% on that list.
Hunter's a
Hunter has
1,000%.
fucking
Hunter
got
showed up with some baby oil of his house.
baby oiled up, buddy. Oh my god. Yeah, like right, like is he pardoning the you know the mom or the dad, right, out there maybe doing some shady shit, right, like trying to just make it, right? Like
Yeah.
that's not who he's pardoning. He's pardoning his kid because he's also potentially fucking involved, right? Like
Ooh.
because what, right? And right, what did Karine Jean-Pierre come out and say, right? His press secretary, well, there's more coming, right? It would not surprise me if he also puts in these preventative pardons for his brother, right? For his sister, for all the people that have been taking part of this fucking Biden scheme since he was a fucking senator. Allegedly. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Damn.
I'm just saying, you have a guy whose entire like life has been spent, right? Not building businesses, not
No, just
making
some
people's
like
lives
straight up
better, right? Like,
shadiness.
well, working for the government, right? Like, and enriching the people around him. Okay, like, cool to some extent. Okay, I get it, man. But you've lived off your name, and it winds up like your kid, right, who is living off your name, is a complete fucking scumbag, right? Who is knocking up strippers, doing copious amounts of uh, uh, drugs, every drug under the sun. Which, whatever, man. Like, okay, right? Denying one of his kids. I don't know if you saw that. Like, he denied one of his kids. It was one of the illegitimate children he had, I think, with a stripper, and was like basically signed a deal saying, "Hey, you can't use the Biden name like that. I'll give you money, but
Ooh.
you can't come around saying that you're Joe Biden's grandkid." Like,
Ooh.
and Biden also like denied that his son had knocked up this stripper, right? Like, he got involved with his dead brother's ex, like just shady shit, right? Like just shady, terrible stuff. That doesn't even start to go with, right? Like all of the money schemes that it seems like these motherfuckers were involved with for decades. For decades. And right, like you've got the president going out there saying, like, I'm not gonna, right? Like, I believe in the rule of law. I believe in justice. I'm not going to abuse my power to bail my kid out.
I
Right?
mean,
He made choice. He's a 50-year-old man. It's not like he's 20-year-old kid, right? Like this shit didn't happen when he was like 19 and still trying to become a man. And like, no, dude, like that's not when this shit happened.
yeah. What's crazy is I don't even think Biden's like aware. He probably, I mean, I don't know if he even knows his son's like locked up right now. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just being real. Like, this
Who
is
signed that
definitely
paperwork?
like somebody is like telling him, like someone's just got it. Like he doesn't
Sign the paperwork, Joe.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, if you've seen him in the past couple of press conferences, like I mean, he was over there serving Thanksgiving dinner at a place, and he like said some weird stuff. Was like, yo, I just got fired, and they're telling me we closed down and the streets are closed. And I mean, he made no sense. He left everybody just like, wait, what? Like, huh? I don't know if he has the mental comprehension to be like, oh yeah, I remember these dates, these times. This is the name. Like, I don't even think he does. I literally is like,
well, that's one of the
somebody is like telling him. You know,
that's one of the interesting things, right? Like, and we see it play out. We saw it play out throughout the election, right? You had Trump, hooting and hollering and saying like, "Hey, this shit is rigged. It's rigged against me. Look at them trying to prosecute me." Now, you could argue a couple of them, but they, the January 6th one, okay, why did it take 4 years and you didn't actually press any kind of charges until it was Trump, basically, like it was like the week after Trump came out and was like, yeah, I'm going to run again for president. Like you just were going to let that one go if he didn't, like, and then all the other cases, right, like come flooding in, right? So
yeah,
Trump makes the argument, hey, the DOJ is out to get me. Okay. And one of the counter arguments, the big counter argument on the left was like, nope, look at like they're going after his kid too. And he said he's not gonna pardon his kid. Like he wouldn't do that. Joe's an upstanding guy, right? Like the rule of law and justice, and they're right. Like even Biden has come out and said that, like, right? Like, no, it's the rule of law, it's justice, right? Like everybody's got to pay up for what they did, right? You got to be held accountable, make accountability great again, right? Like,
yes,
so they come out, they say that, right? Trump's beating the drum the entire time.
Will 2028 team?
No. Trump's beating the drum, right? Trump's pounding that drum. Hey,
yeah, he is.
Like, right? They're coming after me. Justice, right? Like the Justice Department's coming after me unfairly. Right? The other side saying, hey, like, nope, we're everybody's got their day in court. Great. Right? What happens? Right? You talk about, right? What was one of the cases they went after Trump for? Right? The classified documents.
Classified documents. That's the big one you hear.
Then, right? What happens like 3 weeks, a month later? They find a treasure trove of classified documents in fucking Biden's possession.
Yeah, in his garage.
Like sitting next
like
to his
Delaware home or something, his beach house.
Yep. Dating all the way back to when he was in the fucking Senate.
Yeah.
Right? Like through the vice presidency, from the Senate days, they find like just tons of shit, right? Okay. They prosecute Trump. Did they prosecute Biden? No. Why did they not prosecute Joe Biden? Do you remember? Because basically it said he couldn't remember anything and he's so fucking senile and out of his goddamn mind that we don't think we could get a conviction on him. because he's not coherent enough to try to put him on fucking trial. That's what the special fucking prosecutor said in his report, right? So everybody's like, whoa, what the fuck, right? Then this shit happens, right? And it's just, you just proved it. You proved it, right? All the terrible shit that you said, right, about the Republicans, you just did the exact same thing.
Yes, you did.
You did the exact same thing. So you now no longer have a leg to stand on. And what does it look like? It looks like vindication from that Trump administration that's about to come in and start cleaning fucking house.
Ooh.
Right? And here's the sad part, right? What's Trump going to do when he comes in? He's going to pardon a shit ton of those January 6th people.
Yeah.
Right? All those people that stormed the fucking Capitol and were trying to overthrow the government, he's going to pardon them. You're going to watch the Democrats freak the fuck out. And
even the dude with the buffalo horns and the painted face.
You know what? And then, like,
whatever happened to that dude?
I don't know.
He was like, oh, hey, Dead Drop series. Let's get it.
No. I don't know.
You know, it's funny that you say that, dude. You know, it is funny. And you are right. And I'm pretty sure the world knows. But you know what I find pretty funny? And not funny, but it's more of like, let me think about this. Trump is definitely not as vocal as he used to be. Like, and hear me out though. Hear me out. I don't mean it in the sense of him being like how he used to be Twitter freaking warrior and thumb warrior and all that stuff, just putting everything out there.
He still does.
But I'm thinking more of like, everybody think of it this way. He's about to take the seat, most important seats in the world. He knows it. The world knows it. All he's really been doing is just picking people for the positions. Yeah, he's been picking his cabinet. He's been picking all these people. But notice he hasn't said, I'm going to go after Biden. I'm going to go after this. I'm going to go after this. I am going to like, I just find it. I find it because he's keeping it hush. Like, I'm pretty sure he has stuff in mind, but he's not putting it out there. And I'm pretty sure the media is just like waiting. What is he going to do? Like, they're just waiting. They're trying to ask questions, other than the border czar, and the border proceedings. And what he said, like on day one, I'm going to do an executive order when it comes to media censorship, social media, like internet censorship, free speech censorship, and of course the border. Those are the only two things though that he's really openly expressed. This is what I'm going to do with executive order, this and this. But everything else, like, there's so much out there that he can easily put out. Oh, they try to get me here. I'm going to go after this. We're going to look into this. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just find it weird how it's just kind of like, it's silent. Like, it's like calm before the storm. Like, it's just that little, okay, what do you got planned here? Like, we're all waiting to know, and maybe he's just waiting until he takes a seat and just going to freaking just open up the floodgates or what? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's just what I've observed. Like, he's keeping it very, like, he's playing golf, he's out there playing golf right now, and he's meeting with world leaders. He's meeting with he's literally communicating, like he's running like the nation for Mar-a-Lago right now. He's running, like, he's conducting foreign policy meetings, ahead of time at Mar-a-Lago, Yeah. But other than that, it's all hush hush. Like, he's not putting stuff out there. He's not tweeting stuff. Like,
that's because he's just kicking it out on True Social, and it doesn't get the same oomph that when he was dumping stuff on Twitter because of the audience, right? So he is talking tariffs. He is talking economic policy. He is talking the border. He is like, he's talking that stuff. He's just doing it through different venues. And I think the media cycle primarily has been dominated by his picks, right? Because everybody freaking out every time you can slide any name across the table and the fucking left is just losing their shit Every single time. Like,
they're just waiting. Hey, what's the next name? Hey, hurry up. Give us the name. Give us the
you
name.
know what? I'm going to declare that Mickey Mouse is the king of Disney.
Gumby will head. You fucking said Mickey Mouse. What the hell?
Yeah. And so, that's really what's been dominating the cycle. You look at, some of the economic stuff he's talked, specifically like with the dollar, like the dollar is trading stronger today than it has been in quite a while. In large part because of some of the economic policy that he suggested. And he's basically said, hey, like, we're going to go after the BRICS nations that have basically said, hey, we're going to try and upend the dollar as the world currency. And, the Biden administration really didn't do anything to kind of counteract that. And Trump's like, fuck that.
No.
Like, absolutely not. Right. Like, he puts that on True Social and everybody's like, uh-oh. Like, oh, okay. Well, the fucking dollar, right? Like, it's that strength through leadership through strength through leadership paradigm that he's kind of exhibiting that has people going, uh-oh. Like, he's coming fucking hard. And if we fuck around, we're going to find out. So, like, everybody be cool.
I find it like, I feel like it's just more as a reactionary measure for something that's immediate, that obviously if our government's silent on it. So like, you mentioned the tariffs, it's like he came out with that in a reactionary measure because he knew here comes another wave. The media's putting out there, here comes another wave of immigrants who are making their way to take advantage of the border while it's still open before you take charge. And he literally was like, wow, let's see what this, no one's doing anything. I'm going to put this out now. It seemed to be very reactionary because he could have put that out when he took, like, after he got elected, but it wasn't until that, okay, here comes another caravan, get ready, this is coming, and then he was like, okay, that's it, hey, tariffs are going to be there, be ready, here they come,
Well, it's a combination of a couple things, right? Really, it's when you look at the fentanyl that's coming into this country, that's a big part of it. The illegal immigrants is another one, right? Illegal immigration being a massive, right? One of the massive things that won him the presidency. And so both through Canada and Mexico, right? Our neighbors, that shit is, just, it's been wide open, right? Like, both from the fentanyl perspective, the cartels pushing fentanyl, where are they getting the raw materials from? They're getting it from China. And he's come out and said, hey, like, you have to stop this. And so what's the threat, right? The threat is, hey, I'm just going to fucking put a 25% tariff on top of every bit of goods that come in and out of our country. So do you want to, right? Like, he uses that shit as a bargaining tool, right? And immediately what happens, right? The Canadians are like I think 85% of their economic trade is with the US, right? They can't fucking afford that.
No, they can't.
Oh, I guess we better fucking stop allowing the Chinese to push the precursors for
that's right. Or you're not getting any more Cheez-Its.
No Cheez-Its.
No Cheez-Its.
You have to pay a lot for the fucking Cheez-Its.
That's right.
And the same thing for Mexico, right? Like, the Canadians were like, yep, you know what? We don't want a fucking 25% tariff. I think we can crack down a little bit harder. The Mexico conversation that allegedly happened, right? And this is what you're talking about, exactly what you're talking about, right? Like, you have Trump talking to world leaders right now, making policy. He's not even in the fucking, he's not even in the seat yet, right? Like, what are the
no, he's
Joe
not.
Biden, Kamala Harris, like, oh, she's,
where are they?
Why are you fucking off? Acting like you're drunk and on fucking Thanksgiving. And where the fuck are they? And he's coming in, right? Already hot, firing on all cylinders, and the Mexican president afterwards, kind of disputed what Trump put out, saying, hey, like, oh yeah, the Mexicans agreed they're gonna fucking shut the border down, da 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 da. And she was like, nope, you know, the drug problem is America's problem, and you know we're for fighting it, but like all the shit that Trump just said is bullshit. So that's going to be that's going to be one of the interesting ones, is what happens in
That is because
with our friends of the South.
I agree, and that government's always been known, and I'm pretty sure. Comment down below, guys, seriously, on anything that we're talking about. But comment down below too your thoughts on this, on the whole tariffs and the Mexican relationship with the U.S. But I've always known, and I'm pretty sure it's very well known, that their government system's just pretty corrupt. You know, it's compromised at this point. It's like officially compromised, and you know, probably the big funders of their political system and those candidacy, you know, are of a legal business.
The cartels.
Cartels. Exactly. You know, and that being said, it's like, okay, let's see that I could see, because that's just going to create a mess for her, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
I mean,
there's a lot of pressure on her, I can imagine.
I think it was 11 mayoral candidates during this last election were assassinated down there. I might be wrong on that number, but it was a high number. It was fucking shocking. How many like people up for election were just fucking assassinated. Like, and right, we're talking like equivalent of like governors, like people running for like governor were like fucking assassinated. And you're like, whoa. And then you look at the cartels, right? The cartels are already starting to get smart. So there's some reporting out very recently, like over the last couple of days, that they started essentially recruiting and kidnapping chemistry students out of the universities to try and recreate the precursors for fentanyl that they're getting from China, because their supply lines are starting to get disrupted. And then how do they also make it more addictive? Fentanyl more addictive. Right. So they are basically recruiting and kidnapping, chemistry students and professors out of universities to work on these projects for them. And that's what's going down like in Mexico currently, because they see the writing on the wall too, that hey, even if the government does crack down, we're going to try and basically build it in house. To continue the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. So that's pretty disgusting. That'll be interesting to see. And you're right. There's already been talk about utilizing the U.S. military against them. That's a terrible fucking idea. That's not going to go over well at all. But I could definitely see, potentially cooperation with the Mexican government if they want to play, to try and wrestle their country back from these multi-billion-dollar industry cartels that fucking basically run the show down there.
Jeez. Well, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how this pans out, because he's already, I would say, more power to him, because he's definitely owning his role, and he's not even in the seat yet, but he's owning his role and the responsibilities that are going to be inherent in that role. For you Army guys know what I'm talking about, what that means.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's for sure. Let's see if he produces, right?
That's right. I see. So you have I think we have a video clip we want to show.
This is for the most part some of the discussion on the Biden piece.
Ooh.
And it's kind of interesting. A few minutes in, a couple of commentators start fucking arguing back and forth. Like, one of them actually trying to fucking justify what Biden just did. So
the blowback over the Hunter Biden pardon has been swift. Republican lawmakers quick to criticize President Biden over this. Some Democrats also speaking out about the bad precedent that they fear that this sets. The incoming chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Republican Chuck Grassley, weighing in with this, saying, "I'm shocked that President Biden pardoned his son Hunter, because he said many, many times he wouldn't, and I believed him. Shame on me." CNN's Lauren Fox tracking the reaction in Washington for us. And there's a lot.
He doesn't know what he's doing, poor guy.
A lot more to come, Lauren.
He doesn't remember. He
Yeah,
said
lawmakers
Bernie's,
expected back in
Straight up weekend
Washington
at Bernie's.
this evening. We can expect that a lot of Republicans are going to be lashing out after this news broke late last night.
Love how they're
But
like,
there
the
are a
Republicans
number
will
of
be lashing
Republicans
out.
who are making the
Wow,
argument
okay.
that Joe Biden had said one thing and then done another. Now, there were also Republicans in the House who had worked on that impeachment probe, someone like Representative Jim Jordan, the chairman of the House
The way that they
Judiciary
spin
Committee,
this is
who said if
just-
there was nothing to their probe, why
Yeah.
is Hunter Biden being pardoned now? Obviously, these were different issues, but it's important to point out that the Republican backlash has been swift. Here's another Republican Senator, Ron Johnson, who said just confirming that under Democratic governments, there truly is a dual system of justice, one that protects Democrats and another weaponized against their political opponent. But it's not just Republicans, Kate, that have criticized Biden. You are also hearing from a small number of Democrats, including Representative Greg Stanton from Arizona, saying, quote, "I respect President Biden, but I think he got this one wrong." He also goes on to say this: if this wasn't politically motivated, pro-Hunter committed felonies and was convicted by a jury of his peers.
Good for
Kate?
him, like a Democrat actually coming out and saying
Lauren,
Yeah.
thank you so much for that. John.
All right, with us now, CNN political commentator Karen Finney and CNN senior political commentator Scott Jennings. So, Karen, you just heard
That guy
Democrat Greg
almost looks
Stanton,
like he can be
Democratic governor of
related to
Colorado
Hunter.
Jared Polis. There are Democrats
Right.
saying they're not happy
Less-
that President Biden made
less
this
of
decision.
the nose nachos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tough. The president went ahead and did what he thought was right for him and to protect his son. And I think
Watch
there are
her
going to
try
be
and sell
Democrats
this.
who, from a political perspective, are going to feel like they may have to say something, but who probably on the inside understand why President Biden went ahead and did this. And I got to tell you, crowing from Republicans, and I know my dear friend Scott will have plenty to say about this, but we're talking about, Donald Trump is a convicted felon who literally had pardoned his daughter's father-in-law and just made him ambassador to France. So if we're going to talk about, who's using what system in what fashion, let's put it all on the table and let's be honest about the fact that Donald Trump doesn't really have a leg to stand on in this one.
So, Scott Jennings, what about that? Steve Bannon, Charles Kushner, Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, Michael Flynn, and Charles Kushner not just pardoned, but also apparently about to be nominated ambassador to France.
Two things can be true at once.
Joe Biden is leaving office making the strongest possible case for Donald Trump that anybody could possibly make it, and that's that our government and our justice system is of, by, and for the elites and nobody else. He ran to banish Trumpism from our political system in this country, and he has left it politically and now institutionally the strongest possible political force in this country. It is a complete and utter failure by the head of the Democratic Party and the President of the United States. Never again do I want to hear, oh, Donald Trump's a liar. You can't believe anything he says. Donald Trump will abuse his power. Donald Trump will only use the system to benefit himself and his family and so on and so forth.
He will,
Never
but-
again. I have one question
Right.
for Karen.
Like, you
And
can't.
that is, why did he need an 11-year blanket pardon going back to 2014 when Joe Biden was the vice president? We are sitting on the biggest cover-up of who knows what crimes, and Joe Biden amazingly knows exactly, roughly, when it started. He knows just about when it all started. He's leaving office in complete and total disgrace. He is a liar. And there is no other way to spin this today. This has nothing to do with Trump and everything to do with the character of Joe Biden.
Let me give some context to what Scott is saying just there, Karen.
And her name, it just happens
Because
to
this
be
part I do
Karen.
not believe we have mentioned it.
Of
Not
course it does.
just granting clemency for the crimes for which Hunter Biden was convicted of illegally purchasing a gun and tax evasion, but also a blanket pardon for any federal crimes that may have been committed basically between 2014 and 2024. So what about that literal get out of jail free card for a 10-year period, Karen?
Well, look, literally, the president recognizes that Republicans have been for years now trying to attack the president himself, go after his family. And when you have someone who literally ran
Trump
their
was literally
campaign
shot at.
on retribution, on the idea of I will be your retribution and getting back at his enemies. I would imagine, obviously I haven't spoken to the president about this, but I would imagine the president took a look at this and said, I want to make sure this is ironclad, that there is nothing that can be done to circumvent what I'm going to do to protect my son and to try to take the target off of his back once and for all. So that's my reading of it. But again, I think that the hypocrisy here is astounding. I mean, Donald Trump has said and done things, said things and done other things. And again, he's a convicted felon himself. He has used his power to benefit his friends, his wealthy allies. In this instance, we're talking about a man who decided to take care of his son after years of unrelenting attacks. I don't blame him.
Scott, did you have the same concerns over a justice system for the elite, as you put it before, when it was Donald Trump pardoning Steve Bannon, Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, Michael Flynn, Charlie Kushner? Same concern then?
Listen, you guys can spend all day long trying to spin this, that this is Donald Trump's fault, that this is somehow caused by Donald Trump. Oh, he's appointing the wrong people. Oh, he did it. Oh, this is the worst possible thing a president could possibly do to his party and to the country, to sit for a year and say, I will not do this. I will not do this. The rule of law is sacred. We have to respect the justice system. Juries, we have to respect juries. We have to respect the guardrails and the norms of our democracy. These people are liars. Inflation, it's transitory. Afghanistan, it's a success. The border is secure. Robert Hur is a liar. The videos are cheap fakes. Biden has a cold. He'll never drop out. Oh, I'll never pardon Hunter. It's all a lie. It is all a grift. Every American, except the most partisan, brain-rotted people, are going to be outraged by this today. He is going to leave off. You think 39% job approval is bad? Just you wait. Just you wait. He's disgraced today. Outrageous.
You don't need to. But Scott, you don't need to hurl names and say people like me are brain rotted. Come on, that's a little beyond the pale, even for you, Scott.
Listen,
I disagree.
Oh my God.
You don't have to defend this. He's leaving office. You don't have to defend it. You don't have to die on this hill. You can say this is wrong because everybody knows that it is. It's wrong. Are you fine with the lying? Are you fine with him sitting before the election all year and lying to the American people? Are you fine with the lying about it?
I don't think that he was lying. I think he made a decision after the fact and decided this was the right thing for him and for his family.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop.
What?
Donald Trump decided that it was okay to pardon
Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre. How many minutes of tape do we have of both of these people telling the American people this will not happen? It's I mean, we could play it all morning. It's a lie, and it's a lie to benefit his own family, and that's all that it is. And everybody who went on TV and said, oh, look how he's the modern George Washington. He's drained every ounce of credibility from every surrogate. If Karine Jean-Pierre had an ounce of self-respect, she'd get off the plane in Africa today where they're going so he can avoid the press and resign. He's drained all of her credibility, and everybody else who's defended this.
It really has.
Draining for them forever.
Wow. You know what? More props to those press secretaries. I'll tell you that right now, because they got to have the worst job.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Like they take all the heat rounds. They are the literally up front. And I mean,
well, especially
Jean-Pierre, like especially, she has the toughest job. Like, I hope after inauguration day, she probably is like, she just goes and takes a long vacation on some island and just that's it. Just that's it. You know. I don't know, just put your cell phone away, just go have some fun, have some margaritas on the beach, you know, and just be done. Like, because it's true. I mean, especially this administration, like you have to go back on everything and you're like the front person and you literally lied for, you know, you literally told outright lies and they're going to be
yeah.
clipped and they're going to be floating around the internet. And it's like, you know what? I hope you just disappear from social media for a while and just reset, because it's going to be, you're going to take all the heat rounds. Oh, man.
And you should.
Yeah. That's why it's
And
a
you
tough spot. It's a tough spot, man. I think you'd make a good press secretary, honestly.
No.
I think you would.
No.
Guys, comment down below. Let us know your thoughts if Will would be a good press secretary. I think you would. I don't give a fuck what you think. And you can even wear that outfit. Just show up, t-shirt, blazer, and just go up there. All right, guys, what do you got?
What do you got? Hey, you're stupid. You should shut up now. Next, what do you got?
Next question.
And then, your dumb shit. Like,
guys, we're talking about practice. Seriously, practice.
Who you calling on next? Matt Best from Black Rifle Coffee Company. What you
exactly?
What you got, Matt? What does the president think about the new 5.56 produced by? Let me tell you something.
You know what? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked.
Great question,
hey guys,
Matt.
go ahead, get comfortable. Take a minute. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to interject on this one. Yeah, man, that's that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. You'd be good at it. Yeah. Oh wow, man. Yeah. Well, we got some chaos ahead of us. It's going to be a fun one. Let's see. We're going to have to see how this turns out. Let's see what else. You got anything else for the team, man, before we wrap up?
All right, final thoughts, right?
Final thoughts.
So this has been plaguing me for a little bit. So what if the coins that you randomly find at like the bottom of drawers, in between the couch cushions, you're like, I'm always finding like, little coins here and there. Change, spare change. What if that's actually from the spiders just trying to pay you back rent?
Or maybe some mice, hiding in your walls.
Maybe it's that little fucking dog of yours.
Maybe that little dog of mine. Yeah. No, he wouldn't leave coins. He'd leave little nuggets. Yeah. That's actually an interesting point, man. What if, Charlotte's Web.
Just trying to pay you rent.
Charlotte's Web, paying rent. I'd be like, hey, it's a little more than that. A little more than that. That's actually a good question, man. Comment down below, guys. Let us know your thoughts. Oh, well. All right, team. Hey, thanks, guys, for tuning in. And please, as always, everything we discussed today, feel free. Comment. Give us your input. Share it down below. We do read them. And let us know your thoughts. I'm curious to know, in regards to the Hunter Biden, pardon, are Will and I both off our rockers, or, hey, convince us, share your side, does it make sense? Does it not make sense? And why, and hey, let us know, did he do it? Did he not? What's going on? And everything else we discuss. So please, guys, comment down below. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, be part of the team and the community as we go forward. And guys, you already know the beautiful flag behind us, the display. Links will be in the description down below. And to include, the Chaos Shop is officially open, guys. So go ahead, get yourself some of that Chaos gear. My personal favorite is the snapbacks. I love wearing snapbacks. I wore this out on the golf course this weekend. Yep, it's got the Cole emblem, the comfort in the front. It leaves people there have had a lot of questions coming like, hey, that's actually pretty cool. What does the comfort mean? And you go in and it opens the door for conversation. And once it's actually pretty cool. It's one of my favorites, guys. So I recommend get out there, especially if you like black, because it matches with everything and it looks cool. Wear it to the range when you're out there shooting, and wear it to the golf range, whichever range. Just wear it. Tag me on Instagram when you do. Share a picture, tag it, and we'll rock and roll. I'll shout you guys out here in the next episode. In the meantime, guys, we'll definitely see you. We got a lot of chaos to embark in and going forward. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but get ready. Will, you got any last words for the team other than the spiders paying rent?
No, that's just what I want to know. I want to know if that spider's paying rent.
there you go, guys. So answer the question: are spiders paying rent, or are you just letting loose change fall out of your pocket?
And this
One or the
fucking
other.
inflation hit those spiders. I want to know.
Inflation hit everybody. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Out.